Hello everyone, welcome to my newest live stream where we will be talking about Pluto, trauma, and facing your fears. Let me face my fears. I love that song. So thank you all for being here. I am Lamarr Townsend. I'm a psychic, an energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the video. Or like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, I am available for personal readings if you would like a personal reading. This is where you can go to reach me, call me, beat me. If you want to reach me, alright, 703-791-9162. I'm in a good mood for some reason. Which is interesting because this isn't like the most, anyway. You can text me at 703-791-9162. Alright, you can also email me at lamarrtownsend@gmail.com and visit my website to book a reading with me. Alright, phone readings do have same day priority. All other readings do typically take 1 to 3 days or less. Also, this is my website. So once you've reached this page, you know you're on the right page. My website is designed, created by me. Alright. Also, check out my Twitch, become a member of my Patreon, check out my podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, and more. You can read the reviews from people who have purchased readings from me, and also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Also, if you would like a reading, you can go right to the store section. This is where you can go to book your reading with me and see all the rates, services, and products I offer. Excuse me, I do birth chart readings, both compatibility birth chart readings and individual birth chart readings. I also do mediumship readings if you want to connect to those who have passed on. I do past life readings if you want to learn about your past lives. I do classes, spiritual development classes, astrology classes, tarot classes. I do candles. I do dream interpretation readings. I do phone psychic tarot readings, email psychic tarot readings, video recorded psychic tarot readings, where I record myself doing your tarot reading and then email you the video recording for you to download and keep. So there's a lot on my website to look through and see what works best for you. So once again, check me out at lamarrtownsendtarot.com. So let's talk about Pluto, the planet Pluto. Let's talk about trauma and facing your fears. Now I have a couple examples. I don't know if I will be able to actually show. Well, I guess we could show pictures. Let's show pictures. I have one example that's a movie, and then I think I have another example that's a song, which I actually sang earlier. There is a song called Face Your Fears by Utada Hikaru, a Japanese very popular pop singer, and I think Skrillex for the video game Kingdom Hearts. Unfortunately, I can't play the song because YouTube will demonetize this video, which I don't want. But I think the what's the word I want to use? The chorus or something like that does go, let me face my fears. Like that's, I love that song. So I recommend you look that up. We'll look at some pictures of that. But let's just get quickly into the meaning of Pluto, trauma, and facing your fears. Now, if you didn't know, in your natal chart, your Pluto does relate to how you deal with facing your fears. Your Pluto does relate to your trauma in your life, alright? But how you also are able to overcome those situations. How you deal with those situations, but then how you're able to grow from them, and overcome them. Now, I think I'm a strong believer that everyone has trauma, and everyone's trauma is valid, right? But it is up to that person to, at some point, eventually overcome their trauma, work to overcome their trauma, and become healed, which is basically become a better person, right? It's kind of the energy of, like, as you get older, and eventually you go out into the world, and you're out and about, and you mess up out in the world. It's like you can't, at some point you can no longer blame your parents. You can't blame your parents, at, 25, 26, 27, 30, so on and so forth, for the mistakes you make at that point, right? Because they're your mistakes, for you to deal with. And we all have issues with our parents growing up. But once again, at some point it does become our issue, right? It's interesting, facing fears is the topic. Yes, it is. So, when it comes to trauma, trauma can really, it's interesting because trauma, traumatic situations never really leave our energy. They can leave our mind. You know, sometimes we can block it out. We can forget about it, act like it didn't exist. But that trauma still lingers. That energy still lingers within your aura, your spirit, your soul. All right? You may not know it, you know, but certain things may trigger you. Once again, Pluto is triggers. You know, so your triggers are your trauma. All right? What do you get triggered by very easily? Look deeper at that, you know, and, you know, being triggered, you know, that can show up in many different ways too. Sometimes we get triggered and we cry. Sometimes we get triggered and we yell, right? Sometimes we get triggered and we emotionally respond in a way where we don't even understand, like, why we're responding a certain way, right? But you have to look deeper at that. Why did that trigger you? Why did you have that emotional response that you had? Sometimes, you know, people deal with situations by not responding at all, not dealing with it at all. But eventually, down the line, they deal with it, or, you know, it hits them like a Mack truck, you know, the reality of the situation, the depth of the situation. You know, so everyone deals with trauma differently. Everyone deals with and responds to their triggers differently. How do you respond to your triggers and your trauma? Kelton says, my dream is to upload on YouTube, and I've been told plenty of times that I could be a YouTuber for literally 7 years, but when I would first start uploading, somehow, some way, my mom found my videos and would criticize the way I presented myself in those videos, and it caused me to never upload again, even though this is still my dream. So you have some trauma associated with that, associated with your mother maybe criticizing you. It could be maybe because you very much care about your mother's opinion. I would be interested to know, Kelton, what your, could be maybe your family's opinion. I would be interested to know, though, what your Pluto is in. My Pluto's in Capricorn. So one of my fears as a Pluto in Capricorn is to not be successful and not make something of myself. To not be able to provide for myself, right? Pluto in Capricorn can also be the energy of holding on. You know, Pluto or Capricorn is the past, karma, you know, things of that nature. Debt can be a fear of Capricorn, you know, because Capricorn also, or Saturn also rules debt and things of this nature. Also, Saturn does rule the father. So there can be some fears maybe associated with that, you know, in some way, shape, or form. Maybe fear of becoming my father or becoming like my father, which kind of was a fear, you know, not any longer, because now I'm definitely secure in myself and my journey and where I'm heading, but you definitely got to look at your triggers and your fears, you know. I told you all a story a couple of days ago how when I was a kid, this is how trauma can play out. You know, when I was a kid, I actually was into makeup, but one day my dad found me playing in makeup and beat me. So I think from then on, you know, it's only now at the age of 30 do I feel really more comfortable playing in makeup and doing it daily. But can you imagine, you know, a kid 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, however old I was, up until 30, you know, like how that trauma affected me, you know. But also his trauma, like, you know, hurt people, right? So, and I'm literally writing it in my journal right now about how I need to express myself, which is why I said this was an interesting topic, and you never told me that. And you even told me that I dim my light too much. My Pluto's in Sag. Okay, so yeah, you may have some trauma around, like, you know, like stepping outside your comfort zones or other people's comfort zones, because you may not be sure how you'll be, like, taken or received. Pluto and Sag can have trauma around expansion, expanding your life, you know, in some way, shape, or form. You know, the idea that having too much or having it all is, like, bad kind of thing, you know, that's like Sagittarius. Pluto and Sag is, like, can be like a very too good to be true kind of vibe too. Like always looking for the ball to drop. Make sure you guys like the video, by the way. Hi Diana, hi Mandela. We've been talking about trauma for the past 9 minutes. How many planets in Capricorn do you have, Lamarr? My Sun is in Capricorn, my Neptune is in Capricorn, my Pluto, wait, no, my Pluto's in Scorpio. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? Why do I always think my Pluto's in Capricorn? My Pluto's in Scorpio. So Pluto and Scorpio people have a lot of trauma in terms of, like, Probably things they've seen growing up. Pluto and Scorpio can be the energy of having to grow up too fast. Pluto and Scorpio can also be an energy of like feeling like like other or being othered as well. Like having to deal with that. But anyways, to answer your question, my sun's in Capricorn, my Neptune's in Capricorn, my Uranus is in Capricorn, my North Node is in Capricorn, and I think my Chiron's in Capricorn, so 5 planets. Yes, my Pluto's in Scorpio. Pluto is in Libra. You may have trauma around relationships and marriage, Wendy. My mom always belittled me for my femininity, sexuality. I'm more femme than masc, and she told me that I acted gay in those videos, and that's why I haven't uploaded publicly since. That makes sense. Yeah, Sagittarius can be living in your truth, you know? Once again, despite other people's opinions, beliefs, being open to different cultures, open-minded, stuff like that. So, I mean, eventually as a Pluto and Sag, in order to grow, you're going to have to go on your own journey, your own way. So, you know, when that starts is up to you. Yes. So let's look at some examples. Let's talk about facing your fears, though, really quickly. So the importance of facing your fears, and I think we'll get into an example using a horror movie, actually, Scream 3. All right. So let's talk about facing your fears. Actually, I should put that in the title too. Hold on. Let's put Scream 3 in the title because I think it's important. Like it's a good example. All right. Scream 3. And actually, okay, let me pull up a picture of Scream 3 while we're here doing this. Scream 3. Set visit. Thank you, Lily, for your donation, or Illy. Kelton says, I can already see how the Scream 3 example is going to play out, and that's a good example. Thank you, Kelton. See? Great minds think alike. Alright, give me a second. Y'all know my computer's slow. Let me face my fears. It was a good movie, right, Wendy? People hate on Scream 3, but I actually like it. Actually was really good. All the Scream, there's not a bad Scream movie, to be honest with you. Like, I can watch all the Scream movies, marathon, easily, and be thoroughly entertained. Alright, so, oh my god, please hurry up, computer. You're messing up my flow. Christ. I love you. We see each other exactly. So if you're just coming in, make sure you like the video. We were earlier talking about trauma. We were talking about Pluto and how Pluto plays a part in trauma. Alright, now finally it shows up. Alright. So now we're going to talk about Scream 3, and we're going to use this as an example. Now, unfortunately, I can't show clips, I don't think, or can I show clips? No, I don't think I can show video clips, but let me see if I can pull up some movies. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about, before I get into the questions, remember I am doing live readings, so there's $5 for one question. I do prefer PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, but I do also accept Super Chat as well. I wonder if I can just show the video. Do you guys think if I show the video, will I get demonetized? I think it would count as reacting, right? If I show the Scream 3 video, do you guys think it'll get demonetized? Because I think the video is just perfect. What do you guys think? Because I've done reaction videos before, and didn't demonetize those videos. Yes, you're reacting. Let's say that. Okay, I'm just gonna show the video. I don't think they show music or play music, but whatever, you guys. Who cares? So, let's talk about the importance of facing your fears. We talked about earlier Pluto, if you're just coming in, and how Pluto is the planet of fear, facing your fears, or your fears in general. Now, it's interesting, if you ever pay attention to your deepest fears, pay attention to how they show up. What you fear comes to you even more. The more you fear it, the more it comes to you, or the faster it comes to you, or the more prominent it shows up. Like, you could have a deep fear of spiders. Spiders will show up in your home somehow, some way, or your car. Or, like, there's always, the universe is always testing you and getting you to face your fears and grow up and evolve from this and realize the true reality of the situation, right? The best way to heal from your trauma and your triggers is to face your fears. Is to face your trauma and your triggers head on. Alright? It's very difficult, and only the strongest, will be able to survive, or to be able to actually come out on the other side, healthy, fully healthy, and in a, what's the word I want to use? In a healthy time frame as well. Some people, can, heal from triggers and trauma, in a quick time frame. Others, it takes decades and years and, a lifetime. Now, hi, Michelle Alexander. Now, why I love Scream 3 is because Scream 3 is the third installment in the Scream horror movie series. And by Scream 3, we see the main character, Sidney Prescott, who has been stalked from both, and attempted to be killed from Scream 1, 2, and now 3. Alright? Now, the interesting thing about Sydney in Scream 3 is that she's actually in hiding. She's meant to be in hiding. By the end of the movie, she has to come out of hiding because, of course, the killer found her and brings her out of hiding to attempt to kill her again. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it for you. I won't tell you what happens in the end in case you want to watch it if you haven't seen it. But anyways, the interesting thing about this movie is that it's very trauma-based. It's very much about facing your fears. It's interesting because one way that Sydney dealt with her trauma and facing her fears was when she was in hiding. I think her job was helping trauma victims, through the helpline, or the phone line, telephone line. Of course, that's eventually how the killer found her. She was using a different name, but eventually, that was the starting of Sydney's healing. Talking to other trauma survivors, talking to other people, who have been through, traumatic situations as a way of healing herself. But the universe, the Scream universe, the movie Scream, Scream 3 universe, brought her deeper into her trauma, because an interesting thing about Scream, it's a movie within a movie. So the plot of Scream 3 is that they're making a movie based on Sydney's life, where, they are talking about the murders that happened in the first movie, alright, in the town that she lived in at the time, but they're also using, the set is exactly the same house, the same bedroom that Sydney actually lived in when she was experiencing the actual murders. I know it's a lot, it's a very meta, but it's really good, you guys, I promise you. If you haven't seen Scream 3 by now, you should definitely watch Scream. It's good. It's horror, but it's good. So, we're going to watch this clip of Sydney going through the set of Scream, or it's actually called Stab. The movie that they're filming in the movie is called Stab. I think it's Stab 3. I think they're on the third installment in Scream 3. But this clip I'm going to show you is Sydney going through the set of her actual home. Alright, where once again the killer attempted to actually kill her in the first movie, Scream 1. Alright. She's going through the set. She's going through her trauma, dealing with her trauma. But I think this is a very poignant, take. This is a very poignant way to, I think, summarize what I've said so far. So let's take a look at Sydney Prescott in Scream 3. Alright. Give me a second. Once again, remember she's visiting the set of a movie being filmed about her life in this scene.
I lied, Sydney. I can't protect you at all. You don't deserve to be protected. You didn't protect me.
favor, Sid. That woman was a slutbag who flashed her shit all over town like she was Sharon Stone.
Because let's face it, Sidney, your mother was no Sharon Stone.
Your mother was fucking my father.
Sid, where are you?
Sidney, give mommy a kiss and we'll make love. Sidney!
So there's a couple reasons why I love that scene. There's some other ones we could look at. Okay, wait a minute. Scream 3, Sydney's mom. There's another one I think we could look at. I think it's this one. I think it's this one where like she goes through another traumatic moment. But let's dissect that scene really. I bet she's having deja vu exactly. Let's dissect that scene really quickly. Now remember I was telling you what you fear the most comes after you, right? So we could look at the killer, which is Ghostface, the one with the, the mask, as Sydney's fear, which it is literally Sydney's fear, But in a way, like, as the movies go on, Sydney is forced to face her fears, which makes her stronger. As you see the movies, as you go from Scream 4 to Scream 5, Sydney gets stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where she just does not care anymore. And she's willing to risk it all to, like, just end it, So let's take another look at Sydney going through another traumatic moment. Alright? And remember, okay, so let me give you some more backstory on Sydney Prescott. Her mother was killed also in the first movie. So that scene we just saw was supposed to be her. It was really the killer underneath the sheet, or it could also be perceived as her having, once again, a hallucination or reliving her trauma. But remember, it's a movie in a movie, so her life is being filmed in a movie. But that was like, her walking into that room was her, like, basically a recreation of her mother being killed. So if you just are coming in, you might have to go back and watch the Scream 3 video we just watched. Well, we're going to watch another one where I show you all. She really don't give a fuck in Scream 5. Exactly. I'm going to show you all another video of Sydney Prescott in Scream 3 where she has another traumatic moment with her mother. A mother haunting, basically. Her mother is haunting her. But once again, it's really Sydney's trauma, of her mother being killed and now her being targeted by the killers, So it's a, once again, if you haven't seen Scream 3, it's a good movie. I don't think any of these clips give away, like, spoilers. So if you haven't watched it yet, we can watch these clips and it won't give anything away. Let's watch this next scene of Sydney Prescott having another traumatic moment, haunting moment. Let's see. I think this one, because this one's longer. Oh, that sucks.
It's always something that I gotta fake for.